Well, Amy and I are on our way down to Kentucky. We're an hour out. Just got done racing in Dayton. I thought I'd run through the entire day for everybody. We'll start with Arson. I thought Arson raced tremendous. The amount of rain that was falling and fell in Kentucky was amazing. I'm shocked that they went today, that they raced. It was quite a show. They still went fast, but I mean, for a little horse like him to get through that track, I was impressed. Got away 6th or 7th, ended up coming with a big rush around the last turn, second over, kind of fizzled out a bit. 5th beat, a length for third, a length and a half for second, 2-3 lengths for the win. I thought the horse raced very good. Now he's got 19 or 20 days until Corbin. There's nowhere to race him. He's got 13 lifetime wins and 75,000 made last 5. There's no racing for Arson. We'll prep him in Kentucky, train him up hard, and bring him down to Corbin. Time is on my side. Looked amazing today. 49-3, 27 seconds on the end of it, but looked very, very strong. Really impressed with this horse. Now, he does have the Reynolds, but it's 10 hours away, and they go for 40 grand. He still fits numbers at 8 at the Meadows, I believe. I don't think we're leaving Pennsylvania with this guy. Let the Reynolds race the Reynolds, and we'll focus on the Breeders' Crown that is coming up. Man, that colt looked good today. Gaslight Hall hung a little bit down the lane. Scotty said he said as muddy as a bugger out. He's got flip-flops on. Eric had called me an hour before, texted me and said, hey, what about pulling his shoes and just putting normal shoes on him up front? I said, yeah, go ahead. He opted just to leave the shoes on him, and he struggled a bit in the deeper mud. I don't blame him for that. Whatever. It was just meant as a tightener. I would like to see the horse win, but it is what it is. We'll get our win hopefully in Corbin. 3 of them would be nice. Lover's Play, very disappointed. Sitting 9th, it makes a break for no particular reason tonight at Northfield Park. We'll get her qualified on Wednesday. Really frustrated over that. It is what it is now. Aunt Lily, that was frustrating also. So let me unpack the entire Aunt Lily situation for everybody. If you've noticed, up until even as far back as 5-6 weeks ago, she runs in, put a head pull on her, she lays on it. We put a Murphy blind and a bit burr and a line pull on her, she lays on it and runs in. Now every week, Dr. Latessa has gone over her, the entire filly, done a little work here, a little work there, and every week, truthfully speaking, we don't see a lot of improvements. So there's a number of things that can be attributed to. Some sort of blind lameness you don't see, maybe a blind splint. I looked, I didn't see one. Maybe some sort of bruise or something bothering her in her high suspensory area. But you would think you would see lameness on the track. I see none when I go on the track. Left line hard in the race, jogging along perfectly. I'm not on the right line or any line. Not over on the shaft. No indication that she's lame. But in the mile, well, if you watch the race, if you didn't happen to notice, go back and watch the race again and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Down the backstretch, I had to slow her up to get around Dan Noble's wheel. She was running in so hard. And then the latter part of the far turn, I'm laying right on Dan Noble's wheel. I almost shoved him right in the infield. And it's problematic. You know, you're not seeing a filly that's beat up or tired. She's coming forward. But it's 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps left. And it's really hard to race a horse doing that. And it's even more frustrating because we don't know what the issue is. If we know what the issue is, we just can't manage it the way we need to, well, fine. That's a problem that we can deal with in other ways. But when you don't know what the problem is, and you can't find it, that is frustrating. Now, as I was talking it out with Jason, we're going to get her teeth looked at, we're going to get her jaw looked at, because again, she doesn't show me any lameness. Now, the other thing was, I remember her getting on the right line hard in the winter when we took the flip-flops off her for the first time. Is it in her feet? But again, you think you would see discomfort or lameness on the track from either or both sides. Nothing. And this is the same thing I went over in Delaware. The same thing I went over, even the night she won. Go back and watch her Northfield race. On the right line the whole way. Now, when you get a horse that's throttled back into 4th gear, right, you don't really see it that much. And I never even asked her for a whole lot of speed. I had her shut down on the last turn, let her trot down the lane, but even down the lane, she's drifting into the passing lane. You can see it plain as day in her win at Northfield. So we do have an issue with her. So the same way we tried to treat the Poppy Rob filly is the same way we're going to treat Aunt Lily. We know there's something there. Can't find it. We just start blistering her up a little bit, painting her up really hard. We'll see if anywhere blows up a little more. The oldest way to look around, figure out what's going on. I would guess the way she hangs on a line, it's two spots that bother her a little bit. I'm going to say up in her right front check ligament area, and maybe even up high behind also. Not enough to put her on a line or a shaft going slow, but more than enough to grab that line going fast. That's my guess. And that's even more prevalent because Dr. Latessa has done all the work that he believed it could be. Medically, done some joints on her knees, her right foot, done her hock behind and her stifle 3 weeks ago. And I can honestly say, as a guy who sat behind her, she was no better in any of those starts as far as being on the line. So we're going to go a little bit old school on her. See if we can find it the old-fashioned way. Anyway, Aunt Lily will make the consolation of Sire Stakes. She'll be one of the better horses. She is still coming forward. She was fighting the entire way today, and she couldn't steer her. Then I went out in the track with Gorgeous Package. What a sweetheart that filly is. She has turned into one of the nicest fillies to drive you would ever want to drive. As a driver, just let her blast off the car. You can throttle her right back. I knew I didn't want to tangle with any of those horses. I knew that the 7 horse was probably the best. Figured I was going to be second or third. Just let it all play out. Now, keep in mind, we've made the consolation. We've made the Buckeye final. Everything's already written. Got to head of lane, moved her over, and she's charging at the wire. I dare say if I push through hard, after watching her race tonight and after watching her race in Delaware, if I push through hard and get away in the 2-hole, maybe I don't beat that horse that won it, but I give an awful scare down the lane, I think. So as I speak out loud, I believe I underdrove her. But she's sharp as a tack, and her last 3 starts, she was charging at the wire. And it's kind of how you want them, right? So very impressed with Gorgeous Package. Chevron's Bypass. The last 4 or 5 horses we bought have done very, very well. We bought this filly for $21,200 out of Kentucky. Now Jason trained her. She's been off, 2-3 weeks, something like that. Jason trained her in 2.5, and she made a break in the middle of the straightaway coming to the half. He pulled her hobbles up a little bit. And I told Luke, he's a ballsy bugger. I'll tell you what, for a guy who's been in a few wrecks the last month and a half or so, here's the horse. He said, listen, got some speed, did make a break in the middle of the straightaway, just drive her how she feels. He just went out of there like it was in one ear and out the other. Like I just said, you know what, Luke, she is bomb-proof. I can't imagine there's anything that could ever make her make a break. I think she's safe as a church. I think you should just let her rock. That was the filter he had on the other day when we were talking. But God bless him, he's a tough bugger. Say what you want about Luke. You know, for a guy who's been down a bunch of times and the guy said, hey, you know, she made a break, whatever, and still lets her rock. Good for him. The filly raced amazing. It's no slugs that beat her at the wire either. 54-1 in the mud. Pretty good mile for a real good mile for Chevron's Bypass. And I dare say, if things stay the way they are with her, pretty good purchase at $21,200. And then we went to Tactical Mounds, 8-hole. It was some of the best fillies around. Jiggy Jog and Call Me Goo. When she finished, Call Me Goo. Second or third, probably this year. I'm not sure either. Raced great. Charging on the end of it. Got up for 4th. Got about all she was going to get. Great drive by Scotty and a great race by the mare. She has been a great mare for us all year long. Just a good day at the office. A great 5th with Arson. A win with Time Is On My Side. 3rd with Gaslight Hall. Yes, Lover's Play made a break. We'll get her squared away again. Aunt Lily was 5th, but I'm telling you, she was trying. We just have to get her squared away, and we will. Gorgeous Package was great, finishing 3rd. Chevron's Bypass raced amazing to finish 2nd. And a closing hard 4th from Tactical Mounds. Again, when you race for $250,000 in the mud on a 5/8 mile track with the 8-hole against the best horses in the world, and you hook a 4th, Pretty good job. So great job by Scott, great job by Megan, and congratulations to all my partners on Tactical Mounts. Great race, a great year, still more to come. We still get the Breeders' Crown coming up. We're going to have some horses in the Breeders' Crown this year. Tactical Mounts, time is on my side. A couple more, who knows? Anyway, that is today in a nutshell. It has rained off and on all day long, and it's pouring right now. As we get closer to Kentucky, we are about 45 minutes from Lexington, Kentucky right now. Tomorrow's a big day. We're going to be looking at a ton of horses. A lot of people, I guess I'll finish my video with this. A lot of people heard me talking the other day about the buckets, the generic buckets, bucket A and bucket B. And I said if they don't fill, I'm just not filling them. A lot of people are worried, my partners that have bought into those buckets. So I'm going to make it as easy as I can. I'm going to do the best job I can for everybody in Kentucky. We're going to buy a pacer. We're going to buy a trotter. We're going to buy some trot fillies. We're going to buy some trot colts. So there's 8 for sure. Probably buy a flyer. There's 9. If we buy 1 or 2 for those buckets, I'll make it as simple as I can. Everybody that bought into those buckets, or any buckets, those buckets first, will have first offering on any horses we buy. No, I'm not going to stick my neck out and spend $160,000 filling up 2 buckets that have 60 shares each left in them. It just makes sense. I can't do it. But I will buy some horses for those buckets. And everybody that bought into either, we know what you paid for your bucket. It'll be credited towards a horse purchase if you'd like. There's more than enough ways to make this work. I want to make it fair for everybody. But you guys have to understand where I'm coming from also, right? So fair is fair. That's what we're going to do. So for Naik and a lot of people asking, what are we going to do with these bucket shares if we don't get a horse? We'll get a horse. Might not get 3 now, but we'll get one. Anyway, take care. I'll talk to you all very soon. The biggest sale of the year for the stable. One of the most important weeks for us in the entire calendar is upon us now. We'll be looking at horses tomorrow. We'll be making videos. Yes, we do have our show coming. Curtis is on his way down tomorrow. It should be a great time here in Kentucky. And we're 43 minutes from it starting. Take care.